All right, hello. So to start off for today's video, I'm going to start off by showing you a little bit of a video of you teaching that I recorded the other day. Okay.
She decides what goes on anywhere in the school. Whether we're teaching science.
This was you talking about parts of the South.
How I set up a classroom. How everything is what she has to have a food reserve that she does over the lunchroom to make sure every kid gets fed. She makes sure that the friends get taken out. She makes sure that all students buy their
Good comparison.
make
Very
sure the
good
air
comparison.
conditioning is working. That's going to be important. Where's the energy generated? The electricity hub.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to something I noticed here. So if you'll notice, you're writing on the actual board, but we could get like a smart board that would make it easier, or we could use some different tools that might make this easier.
To the cafeteria, right? So the cafeteria is going to the cafeteria because now they bring in.
Okay, one thing I want to point out is at one point, let's go a little bit further here. You start writing on the side of the board where the kids could not see. I wonder if there's an easier way we can make it to where they can see better.
The warm-up is going to tell us now. We're going to get through on the warm-up, and it's going to give an example through a video of our. Yes, Louise. Can you do what? Paper? You need a paper? Well, here, I'm giving these out every day, and I'm going to try this for you real quick. Does anybody else see one? I'm making one.
I wonder if even if you could post it like on eClass or something where they could print it, so they don't have to keep asking.
Sometimes I'll use a Word document and I'll actually type from the computer directly, but I like being able to get up and move around as well. So yes, thank you. I appreciate any help. So this particular class that I was doing one was using a model of a school to identify a cell. So I was trying to teach students how to use a cell. And the example we were talking about was the principal is the nucleus, obviously, because she controls everything. So I was using that as an association for the kids to learn about cells.
Very cool. Okay, so I have a few questions for you about your lesson, but also about future lessons. Number one, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst lesson you've ever taught and 10 being your best lesson, how close do you think this lesson was to your ideal?
Well, it's about a 6 or 7. It's a pretty average type lesson, but it was a little bit innovative, but that was created by another teacher, so I was following their plan.
What pleased you about this lesson? What did you like about it?
Well, I'm pleased because I can get the kids to relate to to relate to what a cell is. Believe me, they don't really are that interested about learning about cells if I straight up tell them what a mitochondria is. But if I try to show that it's something in the school, hopefully that relationship type situation will help them remember when we get to a test or an assessment.
What would you have changed to move the lesson closer to a 10?
Well, I would like to have a little bit more technology. I am just not talented with technology. As Ms. Harvey just had mentioned, she's here to kind of assist me and coach, but I really would always look for things to improve learning for students.
What would you see your students doing differently if your class was a 10?
If I had a 10, actually, I've heard of this virtual reality where you could put on things. I'd like to be able to walk through a cell, kind of like the Magic School Bus, where the kids could go in and actually see a working cell and talk about it. Some more tech. That's where we're going, I hope, in the future, something of that nature.
I know I've thought about doing that for my psych class for parts of the brain.
Right.
That's cool. Okay. So as far as telling me more about what that would look like, I think you kind of answered that with just virtual reality and being able to really explore it, like the Magic School Bus. How could we measure this change?
Well, I look for that future. Measuring that change would be probably through assessment. If I could assess the kids, it would have to be from a year to year basis, probably, because I could take a class and teach this lesson and then see the results and then maybe look at a class in the future, or if I could go into another class and teach that.
And then, do you want that to be your goal, to be able to go into other classes and be able to assess that change?
Well, if I could just learn more about technology, we as teachers are so busy trying to get lesson plans and just the process of the school day and meetings that it's hard to develop that technology. And I think that's such a challenge for today's teachers. And we need more people like you, Jenny, that are helping people work to using more technology in the future.
And if you could hit that goal, would it really matter to you to be able to reach this where you understand technology better?
Oh, any improvement that teachers can learn technology is going to definitely impact the classroom. I think that's where we're needing to be. And like I said, I'm glad you're helping. And you said you're going to help me a little bit to try to maybe improve my technology in my classroom and use of that. So any technology, of course, is going to benefit the students in the long run, which is why we're here.
What teaching strategy can you use to achieve your goals?
Teaching strategy would be for me to take the time to learn more about the technology. Like if we had a program, lots of times they'll introduce a new program where every year there's some kind of new technology we're using, whether it's attendance or grade book, and they give us an hour lesson at the beginning of the year or maybe during the school year, and then they send you back to your classroom when you've got all the other 20 other things going on and trying to learn that to be effective with it. I just don't think it's effective. Uh, I almost wish in meetings they would do more. Hey, do this particular example and come back and let's meet back to see if we're accomplishing the task. So often you're throwing technology at an older teacher, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll get to do my best.
And then what are your next steps or any type of technology that will improve your test scores, your academics for your students, anything like that?
Well, there are some programs out there that would be helpful. I mean, some simple things like using iPad, using um, what is the program that they have where you go in and there's a program we have that you go in and the kids can actually do experiments on the computers in science and just cannot think of the name of it, where you can manipulate the variables. Like they'll do something about later in the year there's a population thing where how you affect the population of an environment when say you have no rain for 6 weeks. And you could go in. I like that. There's a program that I'll have to show you what it is to see if you can help me maybe utilize that better because I barely know what I'm doing when I teach with it.
Do you know what program it's called?
It's called
Is it that Gizmo thing?
Gizmo. It's called Gizmo. Yes, thank you. It is Gizmo, and they use this in the science department often, and a lot of younger teachers. And sometimes I just kind of quickly show it. But if I'm more effective teaching Gizmo, I think it would be helpful to the students.
And then a couple more questions. Number one, what would be a student focused goal we could create to best help your students in the future?
Well, I haven't mentioned in this video, but I teach an LD self-contained learning disabled students. So many of my students' IQ, most of my students' IQ are the 60 to 75 range, which are low. I mean, 85 to 115 is the average range. So I'm dealing with a lot of kids with processing skills. So technologies using processing just to get there. So I will spend a lot of time in the day just getting them to their e-class page, which is a program we use for students that I keep all my lessons on. But sometimes I have to actually walk the students to the e-class page, show them how to get to my program, and they have to click on several. I mean, there's probably 10 steps they have to do. For my kids, that's very difficult. So I'm having to assist them all the way through the process just to get to today's e-class page with today's lessons on it. If I want them to read something or follow through, I have to take the time to work with them.
So your main goal here would be to find a way to facilitate to make that easier?
That would be really helpful to my students because it's a 10-minute process at the beginning of class to get my students to that page. I mean, they turn their computer class, they know how to get to their main portal page, but then through eClass, it's another 7 steps because you have to click on the right class. You have to click on, after you click on the right class, you have to click on the content. Then you have to go through and find the week that we're on. You have to go to the table of contents, make sure we're on the correct week, then go to the correct day, and then click on that. And then there's usually links within the page. So that is about, I think, 7 steps that they have to go through. If there would be maybe a quick thing to where it's already guided to where at the beginning of the day when they get on eClass, they could just click a button and it would take them straight to the eClass page. That certainly would sell. 10 minutes is, 10 minutes out of 60 is, 1/6 of a period. So you think about the impact on time, just do that. And plus I have to individually go around. That's why it takes about 10 minutes sometimes to get.
And then my final question is, what would be a teacher-focused goal?
Teacher-focused goal. Probably to, if I could just learn 1 or 2 programs that I could get better at, the Gizmo, for instance, would be helpful. And if you, and Ms. Harvey, think of any other type of programs, maybe we can sit down and talk about another program. Maybe learn 2 programs this semester that I could be comfortable on, that we could work with to be more effective in the classroom.
Very good. All right. Any other questions for me?
No, thank you. I appreciate you coming to me and offering help.
Yes, absolutely. All right. That'll be it.